Okay, welcome back. This is Social Language, video 3. We're going to be exploring different pictures like this one. We're going to talk about the emotion, justification, or visual clues that give information about the picture, about how they're feeling and thinking. So we're going to be talking about relevant visual clues. Then we're going to come up with a thought or a quote. And lastly, if appropriate, if it's applicable, we're going to be talking about the problem in the picture and possible resolutions. All the information that I'm talking about is gathered from Michelle Garcia Winner. You can go to socialthinking.com. She has great resources. And the next one is social language training that you can buy from Linguasystems. And so I'm using their some of the pictures that are in that book. Okay, those are great resources. So here's our picture, and take that in. Pause the video if you need to, some time to process it and think about the answer. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this girl, okay, and how she feels. So this girl feels upset, maybe annoyed, that her mom is obviously yelling at her. I know this because she's turned away. Her mom is pointing at her with a frown, and the girl is looking away, and she's kind of has tense lips. Her body is almost even turned away from her mom. Her mom's posture is leaned over to get closer to the child's face with her finger pointed at her. And so she's upset. Both mom and daughter are really upset. Daughter looks like she might be trying to ignore mom. Okay, so the facial expressions that I'm using are for mom and daughter both, tense lips, kind of squinted eyes, at least for the mom. The gesture I see as mom is pointing at the daughter. The posture is mom is bent over, leaning towards the daughter, and the daughter's posture is turned away. Proximity, this is important in this picture. The mom is leaning towards the daughter. She's pretty close, kind of almost in her face. So that's pretty close proximity. Wordless vocalizations might be kind of anger. A thought the daughter might be thinking is, can't believe she caught me, or can't believe I'm getting in trouble for this. The mom might be thinking or saying, don't ever do that again. Let's come up with a problem. So let's say the girl hits somebody at school. So the problem is she hit someone, and that's definitely against the rules. And a possible solution for the girl will be to act differently when she's upset around someone. So let's say someone was calling her name, and that was against the rules. It's not necessarily right for her to hit back because that's also against the rules, and that will give people very angry thoughts and feelings about her. So to give people positive thoughts about her, if I were her, I might tell a teacher. I might say help. I might tell a friend and ask for their help in solving the solution, solving the problem. So if someone's calling her names, she could say to the person, please stop that, you're hurting my feelings. She could walk away and ignore the problem. Those are all things that would resolve the problem and give people positive thoughts instead of acting out in a way that would worsen the situation. Okay, so our next picture, take it in, pause the video if you need to. Okay, so the emotion is he looks upset, annoyed, angry. And I know this is because his mouth is open, his eyebrows are together, looks like he's even yelling. His hands are on his ears. It looks like he has headphones on. And so the facial expression is his mouth is open, his eyebrows are together. The gesture is his hands are on his head. The posture is his shoulders are up, his head is down a little bit. wordless vocalizations, he might be saying, ah. Proximity is not important because there's no one else in the picture. Thought he might be thinking is, I can't handle this anymore. Another interpretation, completely other interpretation of this picture, is that maybe he's listening to some loud heavy metal music and he is singing along with it, and it might be that. Maybe it's kind of some dark music he's listening to, and actually enjoying the process. He might be, let's see what else could be happening. He might be venting. Maybe he is angry and he's listening to this loud music and just screaming to kind of get his anger out. So that's a possible interpretation. Some of these pictures have multiple interpretations, and it's important for us to explore all the different possibilities. Let's say the problem is, or another issue is he is listening to some music that is suddenly too loud. He didn't think that the volume was on that high, and he's saying, this is too loud. Something else, maybe he's listening to fire engines go by or fireworks that are really hurting his ears, and he's putting headphones on to not hear the annoying or loud music or noises. And he's doing that to help regulate himself. So let's say the problem is he is hearing some really loud music in his headphones. Solution would be he takes his headphones off quickly, or he turns the music down. Let's say the problem is he's angry at his mom for taking his car away because he made a poor choice by coming home late. So looks like he's trying to solve the problem by venting, and certainly if you're alone in your room or outside and no one's around, it's important to get your emotions out. And so, giving yourself some time to yell when no one else is around would be appropriate. And so maybe he's solving this problem appropriately. Okay, so that's a possible interpretation to this picture. When I look at it closely, he looks pretty angry and upset, and maybe he's just getting his emotions out. And as long as he's alone, where he's not yelling at somebody else, that would be appropriate. All right, so next picture here. Look at that one. That's interesting. Okay, so this man looks like he's in the woods. It looks like he is looking at a piece of paper with a map. And I can't tell the other object. Maybe it's a phone, maybe it's a compass. He's got his hand on his head, and he looks a little confused. So I'm going to say the emotion here is confusion. And I'm going to say the justification is, it's hard to see, but if you look at the picture, his eyeballs are kind of together. That's the facial expression I'm using. The gesture he's making, his hand is on his head, like, scratching his head, or, how am I going to solve this problem? The other visual clue here is he's in the woods. There's trees behind him. And he's got a paper in his hand that he's looking at, and something else, a compass or a phone. The wordless vocalization he might be making is, something like that. The thought he might be thinking is, okay, I'm lost. How do I get myself out of these woods? Or I really need some help. So, what direction do I go in? Or who do I call? Or how do I get a signal? Maybe he can't get a signal on his phone. So let's say the problem is he's lost and he has no cell phone reception, but he's got a map in his hands. So a possible solution to this might be he tried to backtrack. He tried to go back the way he came. Maybe he digs in his backpack for some signaling equipment, a mirror, or makes a fire, or some kind of flag. Maybe if it's getting dark, he should just set up camp and try the next day. So that's a problem and some possible solutions. You can see each problem has many different solutions. Okay, we're going to do one more here. Okay, so look at this picture. Okay, pretty intense emotion here. So The boy is looking at his notebook. It looks like there's a lot of words on there. His pen is on his notebook. His hands are on his head. Okay, so the expression is his eyebrows are kind of together and his mouth is kind of tense. The gesture is his hands are on his head. Posture is he's kind of looking down, he's slouched over, he's resting his hands on his head. Wordless vocalization might be something like that. A thought he might be thinking is, how am I going to finish this homework? Or how do I do this? Something along those lines. Problem is, maybe he procrastinated and he needs to get his work done, but he didn't leave himself enough time. So solution might be he tell the teacher. You get as much done that night. The next day he tells the teacher and says, look, I need more time. Next time I will try to plan and give myself some more time. Maybe he calls a friend for some help. Maybe asks his mom or dad for some help in finishing his assignment. Maybe he just has to, unfortunately, get a bad grade and learn from that experience. Next time, plan ahead and give himself more time to finish a big project. Okay, that's the end of our video number 3. Look for more videos. Thanks.